Welcome to Try to Thrive, the podcast where passion meets endurance and every finish line is just the beginning. We're here to inspire, challenge, and share our journey through swim, bike, run, and beyond.
This episode is brought to you by Netbox Labs.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Try to Thrive. My name is Dennis. I'm sitting here with my co-host, Chris, and today our topic is how to lose weight in 2026. Nutrition, fat loss, and getting fit. Two real experiences.
Wow, that sounds ambitious.
It sounds very ambitious, but
Very
that's
ambitious.
how we are, Chris.
Yes, exactly. And hello from my side as well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Is
Year.
it the first time we record?
Yes, we
in the
both
new
together.
year?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it
cool.
is. Absolutely. But it's already mid-end of January. But, we start things slow.
Yeah.
Let's start it slow. Let's kick it off.
So the topic of today is how to lose weight in 2026, especially addressed to those of you who might need to lose some weight. There are a lot of people that you don't need to lose weight. It still can be interesting for you. But Chris and I, we both have some experience because Chris didn't look a few months or years ago like he looks now. And I didn't look how I look now. And to start this conversation, first of all, I want to show you all a picture of Chris already in our review we had in the first episode of this year. We were showing this, and Chris, I want to share this picture for those of you on
Yes.
YouTube. You
Oh, wow.
this is Chris in 2024 in Munich
Yeah.
at the marathon.
Yeah. But I just pretended
He
to
he
go there.
He wasn't running, so
Exactly.
but the thumb goes up. But you can clearly see his face was a little bit puffier. He was a little bit bigger. I wouldn't say you were obese, but you weren't looking as healthy as now. On the other side, I just picked one of our last pictures when we were in Malaga, and you can see you are a totally different person, not only because of your haircut.
True.
But my first question, Chris,
Yes.
as you see yourself here in this picture on the left in Munich, and you try to get back to the time when you were looking like this and try to think about the person, Chris, about your habits, about everything you did during that time, how you felt. Give us some insights to the Chris from the end of 2024. How did you live? And then tell us how you changed.
Yeah, thank you for that, Dennis, to bring me back to that point in time, because sometimes it's also good to reflect and think back how it was. So, actually, how it was, I mean, I was not doing a lot of sport. I think it was not existent at all. If so, it was only partially there. My eating habits, I would say, was very irregularly. I was traveling a lot, and while traveling, for sure, I was not taking care of good nutrition at all. So I was just eating what was quick. For sure, I was sitting a lot in front of the computer and not being very active. And I must admit, there were also quite a few parties with the family, some family gathering, and then for sure there was quite some alcohol involved as well. I started brewing beer, which didn't help in that sense as well, as you can imagine. So you try something out, and it all sums up to what you just showed. And I must say, I feel way better today.
From a health perspective, how did you feel back then? Did you have some issues?
Actually, I didn't have any kind of issues, but if I remember back, I compare it to as it is right now, I was way, way more often sick. And by meaning sick is like a cold, another cold, another cold. I had stomach issues a lot. And that I would say in the last year was not existent. Okay, the end of the year, we were both a bit sick last year, 2025, a little bit of a cold, but also not severe. It was gone in a couple of days.
I just pretended to make you feel better.
But other than this, I was not, knock on wood, I was not sick last year at all.
Yeah. Okay, so Chris, so now I believe that our listener has quite a view how your life looked like before. A lot of partying, inconsistent meals at inconsistent times, and not the healthiest food. You can tell us a little bit more later on about what is a healthy food for you.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that you had a lot of stress, also connected to traveling. You weren't really taking care of your body, not working out, not doing anything.
Yeah.
And now you look how you look now. How much weight did you lose in this around 1 year?
I would say around 15 kilos.
15 kilograms you lost. You didn't look that big actually. And for sure you also gained some muscles.
I hope.
Yeah, I mean your biceps looks like a
Yeah. Dennis is always jealous about my biceps. It's not that big, but thank you.
So yeah, tell us, how did you do it? What did you do step by step? And what you suggest from your perspective, from your experience?
Yeah, good point. So actually, I tried quite a few things last year, so 2025. I was trying to eat way more balanced at the beginning of the year. So I tried to eat to specific times, and I, of course, tried to avoid any kind of fast food, any kind of processed food. And I tried to have as healthy and balanced as possible. I was not counting any kind of calories or to any extent like this. It was just balanced, and I ate how I felt. But my focus point was on eating healthy fruits, vegetables, all kind of meat, fish, all of this, right? And this I did until the Ironman, half Ironman in Krakow.
In August.
Then we went for another one in Marburg.
So how much weight did you lose until then?
Like I would say like around 10 kilos.
10 kilos?
In that entire phase with sport, right?
Yeah.
Because increasing sport also increases your hunger. So I was eating more, but uncontrolled to that point in time.
Okay.
Now, we had an episode with Jan about ketogenic diet. And I was doing that long years ago, 10 years ago, I think. And that somehow triggered me. And I said, I want to try this again. So after our Ironman, half Ironman in Marburg, I said, I will try it until the end of the year.
Yeah, that was in September,
Exactly.
beginning of September, and then you did it until December, right?
Just before Christmas.
Just before Christmas, of course.
Because, you cannot sustain
Yeah.
ketogenic diets in Christmas time. So I did this, and I felt really good. And there I lost a lot of weight. I was mixing ketogenic diet with fasting, and I really felt well. And then I also started at the end to count calories. But yeah, was good. Also, I ended this entire, let's say, phase with 5 days of fasting, which was also a very nice experience.
Interesting. I've never done a 5-day fast. If I remember correctly, the longest I've done was 36 hours, I think. Tell me a bit more, how did you feel? How was the first day, the second day? And is there any difference connected to the 5th day at the end?
So the fasting.
Yeah.
So I think as I was already producing ketones and I was in this ketogenic phase, it was not a big difference for me to stop eating. The only thing, and this is an interesting habit, I was going a lot to the fridge, opening the fridge, just, coming down, getting a coffee, because coffee I was drinking. The coffee doesn't break fast, obviously, black coffee. And, I love coffee, right? Addicted to coffee, I must admit. But other than this, I was coming down, opening the fridge, checking what is inside and say, I can't eat anything. And this was the only thing. And the feeling of eating something, this was like in my brain. I imagined eating something and how it tastes. But the coffee was enough for me.
Okay, interesting. And anything else you realized? I heard very often that people say after 2 days you have more focus. It's easier to really work well mentally. How was that?
Good point. As I was in this ketogenic phase, I already had that when I didn't eat any kind of carbs. It accelerated a little bit while the fast, but I agree, these brain fog, they call it, it was not existent. You really, really could focus, you could do a lot, and it was nice.
Okay, interesting. And what was the main factor how you lost so much weight? I understand that in the beginning you had like a 10 kilograms weight loss until August, and then around 5-6 kilograms after August, and connected to the change of nutrition, eating ketogenic and having fasts. And in your opinion, what was the factor that made it the most happen? What can our listeners also take from your experience now? Because I'm not sure if it's a good idea to just tell now, hey, you should do a 5-day fast.
Yeah, no, absolutely
just
not.
like randomly to people, just do it, and you will also lose the last 5 kilograms of fat you have on your stomach.
Yeah.
Is that something we want to promote here?
No, not at all. So first of all, why I did this? So it was an experiment with myself. I did it to just get the opinion how it feels, because I've read a lot, I've seen a lot of videos how people are doing this, and I just wanted to experience myself. But to come back to your question, what I can recommend is you need to stay consistent. And, we were traveling and we stick to our diet. And when I was having any kind of business trips, whenever I even skipped my training, which was not possible to do then, I stayed consistent with my diet. And I always try to find any kind of restaurants that, I can eat something. And there's always an option. Or you just go to the supermarket and buy whatever you can eat. So consistency, and then take it slow. Because a lot of people, especially at the beginning of the year, now we see it in the gyms, everything is full, crowded, wow. You have all this kind of New Year's resolutions, right? But they fade away at the mid of January already. Yeah. So take it slow and just stay consistent. These are, I would say, these 2 things. And if you don't have a good feeling of what you can eat, you need to have an understanding of the calories. Because whatever diet you take, if you do ketogenic, if you do vegan, whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's calories in and calories out. If I was in keto, I could eat meat, but at the beginning, I was eating like 1.5 kilogram of meat. I was in heaven. Was that good? For sure not, because I was overeating a lot. So this is also what I realized during this phase. I was, for example, there were specific pancakes. I made them for you as well. They have
very good ones.
Yeah, I like them as well. Still do it. They have, if I do this double portion, 1,200 calories. I was eating them for a breakfast. It's too much, right? So get a good understanding of the calories, which kind of meals did you prepare yourself, what you cook, have what kind of calories. Yeah. These are the 3 things now.
Interesting. I have also quite a similar experience like you, not exactly the same like you, because I didn't fast. But first of all, I also want to show a picture how
Oh,
How I looked, and I went on my phone, and I got back 2 years ago, and I found 2 pictures when I started to go back to the gym, and that's how I looked 2 years ago. You see, one in
Oh,
front,
wow.
one in the back.
That is.
Tell me, Chris, what who looked worse, you or me? I mean, I show a bit more than you, but
Yeah, I do think that there's not a lot of a difference, I would say.
I mean,
Maybe I was.
I can imagine. Wait, not now. In a shirt, it wouldn't look so bad.
Yeah.
But like this, it
Yeah.
doesn't look healthy in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but I
And
was the same, I would say. I was the same.
yeah, that was in February 2024,
Mm-hmm.
and that was February. That here is February 2025. So also more or less 1 year ago.
I mean, you can
And
look,
after
you
one-
can
one-
see
like-
my face. I'm like impressed by this result picture. Wow, this
Yeah,
is.
On the left side, it's, I think, if I remember correctly, it is 88, 89 kilograms.
Mhm.
And here it's around, if I remember correctly, then it was around 80, 81 kilograms.
Mhm.
But I also gained a little bit of muscle and
Of course.
lost a lot of fat. So if I remember correctly, it was around 11, 12 kilograms of fat I lost.
Wow.
Yeah, and yeah, I think like when you look at this picture, I looked very, very bad. And if I try to think about how my life looked back then, similar to you, back then I stopped in 2021 working out at all because I lost a lot of money with my company and got into focus mode for working, and I was only working. I think that very often I didn't even do 500 steps a day. Usually I would only eat porridge.
Mhm.
So that would be always my first meal, mostly at noon, because I was doing intermittent fasting. And then I would have a second meal in the evening. So I wasn't eating that much, but it was highly carbohydrates focused. And yeah, I haven't seen a doctor in years. I haven't done any blood work, and I think I put on like 10 kilograms or something like that in like a range of like 6, 7, 8 months
Wow.
by not changing anything. Like I was
Okay.
I was eating like that for a long time,
Right.
and then it just boom. I just got fat, and what else? I felt tired all the time, especially after eating something. I felt tired, and the worst thing was I had inflammation inside my body, and especially I felt it in my left ankle, so that I couldn't even run. When I tried to go out for a run, I couldn't even running. I felt really, really, really bad. And one additional anecdote: I tried back then not to eat much meat because there is also kind of this, how can I say, like this? Let's call it propaganda
Mhm.
that yeah, meat is not healthy, fat is not healthy. If I would eat bread, I was also eating bread back then. I wouldn't even put butter on my bread because I thought, oh, it's fat, it's not good. Yeah, so I would have not much fat in my diet. I'm sure I didn't have much of protein. Perhaps maybe per day between 50 and 80 grams. And yeah, that's how it looked like. And I felt so bad. I couldn't even work out. I wanted to work out. I couldn't do it. And I went to see doctors because I was putting on weight all the time, trying to focus on eating my porridge and everything. And it didn't work out at all. And the doctors I saw said like, yeah, but you look awesome. Your blood work is really good, and everything is in range. So you look good. You look healthy. Yeah, but I know how I looked like 2 years ago, and how my body feels now and 2 years ago. So something is not right. And after finding a doctor that really was able to read and check all my blood results, and also asking me to do different tests, I found out that I have an insulin resistance. And yeah, basically, he gave me an entire list of foods I'm supposed to eat and I'm not supposed to eat.
Right.
And one of the things I wasn't allowed to eat was bread. Not any type of bread. I shouldn't eat whole grains, white bread, whatever. Don't eat any bread. No fruits with very high glycemic index. So, for example, I shouldn't eat a banana. I shouldn't eat grapes.
Interesting.
There was a whole list of that, and I really tried to stick to it.
Can I ask a question? How do they come to that conclusion?
This episode is brought to you by Netbox Labs. If you're managing networks, you know the chaos of scattered documentation. Spreadsheets, outdated diagrams, tribal knowledge. Netbox fixes all of that. It's one platform where your entire infrastructure lives, your source of truth. From there, you automate with confidence. It's like having a perfectly structured training plan. You always know exactly where you are and where you're going. Start for free at netboxlabs.com.
I myself, I'm not a complete specialist, but I took this test where I was drinking glucose, and every 30 minutes or 60 minutes, they would take blood and check my glucose level and my insulin levels. After 4 hours, my insulin level would still go higher, which means I'm insulin resistant, because my body's producing insulin to say like, hey, yeah, we have too much glucose in our blood, and that leads to my body, so let's put it into our fat storage. And that's the effect. So
Right.
if we eat foods, if you have such I don't even know if you can call it sickness, but if you have this kind of state in your body, then you don't want to eat foods that make your insulin levels spike. So you try to prevent foods that give you a spike. And for example, I told you that I ate a lot of porridge.
Right.
And porridge has this effect that it gives you a very high spike for a very, very long time. And I was eating that food for years.
Wow.
So that's one point. And bread, similar. Then for some reason with grapes, it's the same. That he explained me that. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you why, unfortunately. But basically, he gave me a list of foods I shouldn't eat.
Right.
And then he gave me a recommendation what I should eat. Then for some stuff, I would ask him if that's okay. For example, I eat now a lot of cottage cheese. I eat a lot of honey even as sugar. I try to eat these type of fruits that are, for example, berries and stuff like that. Apple. How do you say Birne?
Pear.
A pear. Yeah, the Germans.
The Germans.
And so I got this list. I'm not able to recall everything, but the most important thing: no bread, no high processed foods, and I shouldn't eat potatoes, no rice, and no pasta.
Oh wow, that's already ketogenic diet then. If
Yeah,
you
but if
remove all
you-
of this.
Now I get to the point how I was supposed to eat. So he told me every single meal I start with vegetables or salad. So that's always the beginning. So if I eat something, I always start with vegetable and salad. Now I don't always do that, but back then for around like 10, 11 months, I was doing that every single meal. So I would prepare myself broccoli, whatever vegetables, like steam it, put some salt on it, and that would be the beginning. Something that would fill my stomach, but wouldn't bring any spike of insulin. So then I would start with this. Then I would eat something with protein. So fish, meat, cheese, whatever has protein. And at the end, I was supposed to always eat a piece of fruit. So the only carbs I ate were the vegetables in the beginning. Here it depends on what vegetable you eat. It can be more or it can be less. But even if you eat broccoli, you can't eat that much of broccoli that it will be so many
Not true.
calories or so many grams. So I think if I remember back then, because I was also counting all my calories and the whole food, I was weighing it because I was back then so obsessed with it because I really wanted to have a calorie deficit to lose the weight. And most of the time I would be under 100 grams of carbs per day. And very often I would have like 20, 30, 40, 50 grams.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. And I lost really the most fat I lost just like this in 3 months. Like really, in 3 months I lost basically almost everything. And then I stick to this diet even longer to get rid of more fat.
Mm-hmm.
And after then stopping to be in this deficit, then was the moment when I started to put on also muscles. I wasn't really able to put on muscles when I had this deficit. I think for sure I put on some muscles, but not as much because, I'm in a deficit, but I started working out again. And I really took care that I have a lot of protein.
Okay.
So my advice for people listening, not medical advice because I'm not a doctor, but try to have at least 2 grams per kilogram weight of protein. So for example, I weigh around 83 kilograms now. So 83 times 2, 166 grams. Should be
150 something.
should
like
be at
this.
least
Yeah.
better more.
Yeah.
Very often I have like over 200, sometimes even over 300 grams. And that for sure was also preventing me from losing muscles during this time when I had the deficit. And I was working out more than I had like 4-5 hours of training per week, which is not super much, but going from 0 to 4 or 5 hours per
It's a
week.
lot.
Yeah. You run 2-3 times per week for half an hour, then you go cycling once per week, you go to the gym for 30 minutes. And so it was a big change. Muscularly, it was hard, but I was able to lose the weight. And to get kind of like to some advice, I would give anyone listening, first most important thing, in my opinion, what helped me the most was searching for a good doctor that can give me some real advice and doesn't only like check some basic blood work and tells me like, everything is in range, you're super healthy. Yeah, okay, good. But I feel like shit. And that took me a long time to find this type of person. My doctor is an endocrinologist. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, but it's this type of doctor who is able to like interpret everything connected to the blood, and he was also a diabetologist, diabetician. Yeah,
Dietitian.
no, not dietitian. Diabetes. The doctor that takes care of patients that have diabetes. Because at the end, also that what I have is like kind of like pre-diabetic with insulin resistance. So yeah, so try to find someone who, if you have more weight and it's really hard for you, and you might are obese, and you are struggling with eating the right foods, then much likely it can also be connected to the fact that you have insulin resistance, and yeah, I'm sure you're craving those foods even more, and they will not keep you satisfied. So you will eat them more and more and more, and
it's a cycle
it's a cycle. And then even like also what it's like, obesity. It's not that someone chooses to be obese. It's a sickness. It's even officially a sickness. So yeah, try to think about that. This is not you. It's just a state you're in now. And there are people that can help you with that. So I'm sure if you find a right doctor that is able to read that, to understand your lifestyle and to understand your blood, he will be able, or she will be able, to support you with that. And then talk to this specialist. My general advice, don't eat sugar too much. Try to eat vegetables in the beginning, a lot of protein, and then
standard.
And then at the end, some fruit.
Yeah.
Work out consistently, but not too much. That was, I think, a little bit my mistake. That sometimes in the summer, when the summer got warmer, I was doing too much for that moment, because if you don't train for 4 or 5 years, really, you can't expect that you will be able somehow to do a 5-hour ride.
No.
Yeah.
Take it slow.
I remember when I went to the gym the first time when I started, and I thought, okay, I'm going to train like before. And I would do a lot of sets, and I would train my legs. For 2 weeks, I wasn't able to walk. I was walking like a dinosaur because I couldn't use my calves. Yeah. And like you said, Chris, at the end, just be patient. Just be patient. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You just do small steps. Like, first try to get a doctor that knows about it, that tells you what blood tests to do, check it all, and then the next step, micro steps. And then if you will do a tiny little change in your life into this direction, and you try to track it, you will be able to see it.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's what I wish everyone that is listening to this, and everyone in the world, that you get to that point that you can just go calmly and patiently into this direction. And then that means that you will be determined.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, the weight is just a number. Observe how you feel. If you feel better, then you're on a good way. And if you have a mirror and you check how you look, even if your weight is not changing, because I went into that trap as well. Like, I need to hit this specific mark. I need to go under a specific number. Yeah, but at the end, it's not worth it, because anyway, if you work out, what you said, you gain muscles and all this. You need to. It's a very complex topic. But one thing that I forgot to mention, Dennis, is regarding training and triathlon. In that specific phases I have just been going through at the end of the year, especially connected with fasting. I personally, I wouldn't recommend it. And we went for the half marathon in Malaga, and it was very hard for me without any kind of carbs. My energy level at this kind of races specifically was not as good as I was training before and, executing during the Ironman. So,
I would like to challenge that.
yeah, maybe I did something wrong.
I would like to challenge that.
But
if I can jump in,
yeah, of course.
because first of all, I think your result was very good. Your fastest half marathon in the past year.
Yeah, okay.
So,
the past year.
The feeling, you're talking about the feeling you didn't feel so well, but you had a PB for the season best. And yeah, it's also the question when you bring in now this topic of carb intake. I mean, you were fasting, so I guess that must be hard for your body. So I can imagine that you could have been faster. But if we talk about carbs during the race, I don't think that it is better if someone uses carbs during the race. And even there is a new study. It just got out a few months ago from Timothy Noakes. He's a professor from South Africa, and he actually, which is very interesting, he's one of the best professors connected to performance nutrition, and he wrote even a book connected to running because he was a runner himself, and he in the past, I think he's around 70, 80 years old. He was like this type of person that would promote a high carbohydrate diet. And by his own advice, he got diabetes when he was, 50 years old or something. And then he started a carnivore diet, and I don't know if you can say cured, but he got it better again. And now this study came out where they tested athletes with carbohydrates and without carbohydrates. I can't recall exactly how this study went, but I read through it, and the outcome of the study was what you eat before a race, whatever, if it's carbs or fat, doesn't determine your performance. And your muscle glycogen, because we can save carbs in our muscles, if they are full or not, it doesn't determine how fast you can run. The only thing that determines if you can continue to run is if you have enough glucose in your blood. So the outcome was for them, instead of taking the 60 to 120 grams of carbs per hour they say you should take during a triathlon, it's enough to take 6 to 12 grams to keep just the glucose level in your blood high enough so that your brain doesn't create the signal, hey, we have not enough glucose in our blood, we have to shut down everything, he should stop running.
Okay.
So that's the outcome of this study. Of course, I'm not a
What is interesting theory.
I'm not a nutritionist or anything, but it's very interesting to me. And also, I think when I ate more carbs in the last year before the triathlons, I didn't feel better, and I don't think it improved my performance.
We will test it this year.
I will test it this year, and I will for sure eat less carbs. For
Let's
100%,
try it out.
I will do that.
Let's try it out. Let's challenge each other.
Yeah. So I think we had a good podcast so far. We got also a little bit away from the topic, and we're talking about studies, but this topic is super interesting.
I know, that opens a box of Pandora.
Yeah, we need to talk about it again.
Yes.
Let's do one podcast only about this study, because for me it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I think it should be. We should dedicate a whole podcast on this study. And thank you for tuning in, for listening us. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Dennis. Was Wonderful.
Have a good thrive.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.